Hi, my name is James Shepard. This is the Merchant Sales Insight. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can earn residual income by providing business banking services to your business clients. Not just payment processing, but actually providing them with banking services like debit cards, helping them spend their money, not just accept payments. Why should you as an ISO care about this idea of business banking services? Because it's already a hot topic with your biggest competitors. Did you know that Square already has one of the best, it's called neobanking, if you want to look it up. They have one of the best neobanking setups out there because they've realized that not only is providing banking services a huge revenue generator, but it is also great for retention. When business owners are using you as their banker, as well as using you as their payment processor, they are much less likely to cancel. So how does it work? Well, before we get to how you make residual income on this, which is really cool, let's start with the flow of money. Right now, you think about your flow of money in payment processing as coming from the consumer to the business owner. You are facilitating the transaction of helping consumers pay business owners money, and you charge fees based on that, okay? However, a big chunk, really the biggest chunk of those fees that are charged to get money from the consumer to the business owner, the biggest chunk is interchange fees that are charged by the issuing bank, the bank that issued the card. Now, how much residual income do you make off of interchange fees? Zero, right? You don't get any share of the interchange. Why? Because in the context of what we do today, you're on the acquiring side. You're helping that business owner acquire money. So you're facilitating transactions from the consumer to the business owner. Now let me blow your mind with what you could be doing. What if in addition to being on the acquiring side where you're helping that business owner acquire money, what if you were also on the issuing side and you were helping that business owner spend their money? Okay? Now, you, meaning the payment processing company that you work with, like our sponsor, Netevia, which I'll talk more about in a minute, you would be the one collecting that interchange revenue. You would be the one collecting fees and revenue on banking services. Why do business owners need a different kind of bank? They already have a bank. They have their traditional bank. And I want to make it clear that companies like Netevia that are offering neobanking services to business owners, they are not looking to replace the traditional bank. Business owners are still going to use their traditional bank for traditional things like depositing cash and checks, like getting a traditional or SBA business loan, right? These are things that are generally done better today in person than they are through a digital app on your phone. However, there are some things that traditional banks are really, really bad at when it comes to business accounts. Those things are primarily related to spending and rewards, so let's talk about those. I own a pretty good sized company that's growing. We're hiring people. We have a lot of employees here. And when I want my employees to be able to spend money, it is extremely annoying because my traditional local bank does not allow me to issue a debit card to my various employees. If they want to have a debit card, they have to be a signer on the account. Well, I'm not going to make an employee, hire a new employee and a month later I say, hey, I'm going to make you a signer on my business account. I'm not doing that. That's crazy, right? I need to be able to issue them their own debit card, and I need to be able to put spending controls on that card. I may even want to issue a virtual card that has a one-time use. I might say to an employee, hey, you have a big project. We have an event coming up. Don't want you to spend more than $5,000 on this event. So here's the virtual card you're going to use for all of those expenses, and it has a spending limit of $5,000. Or I might have an employee and I say, hey, you can spend up to $1,000 a month on our, this particular marketing campaign. Here's your business debit card with your name on it that has a spending limit. These are things business owners need that most traditional banks do not offer. The other big thing offered by neobanks that's not offered by traditional banks is rewards on the account. Here's why. When you're talking about a neobank, it's going to be a much smaller bank, and it's not going to fall under the regulations of the Durbin Amendment in terms of regulating debit interchange. So we're able to, these neobanks like Netevia Banking is able to issue unregulated business debit cards for these business owners to use, and those business debit cards are going to have some serious interchange revenue associated with them. We're able to take that interchange revenue and repurpose it to provide cashback rewards on debit spend, which is pretty cool, as well as higher APRs when that business owner leaves money in that account. So how do you make money, and why should you sell business banking services to your merchant services clients? Well, let's answer the second question first. You are uniquely positioned to profit from neobanking. In fact, most of you watching this, if you really got focused on this, you would actually make as much, if not more, residual income from your neobanking portfolio as you would from your regular portfolio in terms of like as you added new accounts, if you had both services. Many times you'd make as much or more on the banking residual than you would on the payment processing side, okay? But why should you do it, and why are you uniquely positioned? Well, the reason is the only big challenge with neobanking is getting money into the account. Okay, in other words, if a business owner starts to use one of these really cool apps like Netevia banking app, or if Netevia banking worked with you to make a white label version for your ISO, and they used your ISO's white labeled banking app, and they get these cards, they can issue virtual cards and physical cards and spending controls and higher APRs and cash back on debit, like they're gonna love it and they're gonna use it. So that's not a problem. The problem is all their money is in the traditional bank account. How do we get them to move some of that money over to the neobanking account and get them so that they will use it to pay their bills and do their spending? Well, we are in payment processing, right? So we know exactly how to do that. We help our clients say, look, when you're doing your payment processing, let's, instead of having you deposit that money into your traditional account, deposit that money into your neobanking account. You can still use your traditional account for payroll and things like that, and you can very easily transfer money back and forth between the neobanking account and the traditional account. But what's cool is you can take your payment processing volume, put that into your neobanking account. If you do processing and banking with the same provider, you can do a lot faster funding and other cool things like that. But the idea is now you have that money flowing into that account, and they're then going to be able to take that money and spend it and start paying their bills with it, giving their employees cards that they can use. So it's something that grows over time, but you can provide those business banking services to them because you have the ability to divert with their, obviously with their authorization, to divert that flow of processing revenue and settlement from their traditional account over to their new neobanking account. So this is a trend that we want to be paying attention to. So how do you make money on business banking services? Well, there are 3 ways that you make residual income. Are you ready? Number 1, you make residual income on deposits, okay? So as businesses deposit money into the account, there are a few terms and conditions and things like that, but if they're moving money into the account, you get paid a residual income on that money. Number 2, you get a residual income on when they spend that money using their business debit card. Okay, so the business owner gets a little bit of cash back, you get some cash back, right? So you get money on that spend every time they spend money. Number 3, you also make money each month after the initial month of the deposit, you make money on the balance. So when they leave money in their account, you get paid residual. So think about that. You get paid residual when money goes in the account, you get paid money when they spend the money, and you get paid money when they leave the money alone. That's pretty much everything, right? The only thing you don't get paid on is when they move money out of the account back to their traditional account without going through their business debit card or something. They just move the money over. And by the way, it's very easy for them to move the money back and forth. They're not like locked in. Once they move the money, it's like trapped. It's not like that. They can move it back really, really easily. So I realize that for many of you, your mind is blown. Like you never thought about this before, that you would go on to the issuing side. You're always thinking about the acquiring side. You never thought about the issuing side. Let me tell you something. There is big, big money to be made on the issuing side. Have you ever heard of banks, right? They have a long track record of doing what? Making a lot of money. So why don't you become like a bank and be on the issuing side that is helping that business owner spend the money and maintain their balances and all of that, rather than just helping them to get their money. If you want to learn more about this, let me give you 2 things to do. Number 1, go check out ccsalespro.com/insights. Download the complete edition, read it, got a lot of information there. Also, make sure that you look up our partner here, our sponsor, Netevia. So it's Netevia. Check them out. I got them tagged here if you're on a social media post right now. But check out netevia.com. They are rolling out business banking. Now, here's what's cool about it. what they are rolling out is actually not revolutionary in terms of the technology. This is a proven thing. Like I said, Square has already been doing it for a long time. Many others have as well. So the idea of providing these like really cool mobile first design, great UI, issue virtual cards, physical cards, kind of all of those things, that's a well-established technology. It's something that has been going on for several years now that business owners clearly love. What's unique about it is, and revolutionary, is that Netevia is the first company I'm aware of that's making this available as a product, a service and product that ISOs and agents can sell and earn residual income. That's what's unique about it. So head over to netevia.com and contact them, look it up. I think you're going to love it. It's pretty cool. I'll be doing a lot of stuff with them in 2023. It's kind of one of my things I've identified as like a big opportunity for our industry that I want to make sure you don't miss out on. So we're going to be working with them in 2023 to put out a lot of content. Definitely stay tuned, but for right now, check out Netevia. If you're an ISO, if you're an individual agent, you can talk to them about that, but they don't work with individual agents. They just work with ISOs to set them up to offer business banking services, but more on that later. My name is James Shepard. Make sure you head over to ccsalespro.com/insights to download and read the full PDF document.